inspirational story of how faith, persistence, desire, and brotherhood can make things happen. And so joining us today is Thomas Kiley, author of The Perfect Season, the untold story of Chaminade High School's first undefeated and untied varsity football team. Welcome, Tom. Thank you so much for being with us
Very
today.
nice to see you, Father.
Nice to see you as well, too. So that's the way. So you wrote this with a teammate, right?
Teammate, Chuck Mansfield.
Okay. And so what got you guys decided that you wanted to write a book about this?
The book was done in connection with a reunion, a 60-year reunion of the team. The reunion was suggested by Al Groh, ex-New York Jets head coach, and a very famous coach in his own right, and a teammate of ours. And we agreed to that. Chuck and I agreed to co-chair that. And then a prominent urologist in Boston, who was friends of Al, also a Chaminade guy, Princeton guy, Dr. Kevin Lachlan, suggested that we write a book. And Chuck and I put our heads together and said, yes, we would do it on condition that our teammates, a sufficient number of teammates, contributed, because after all, it was a season experienced by 30 guys. And that's the origin of it. And so it also answers the question, Grandpa, what did you do during the pandemic? So
you wrote a book.
It took Chuck and I about a year and a half to write the book and to edit the book and to receive all the materials and to encourage people who were a little reluctant. But I think we finished with a very successful product.
That's great. And so, I mean, it is a remarkable thing, right? To have an experience like that, to have an undefeated season. But somebody might say, well, there are lots of high school memories. Why write a book about that? There have been other schools, I'm sure, that have had this. But what was it about this experience that felt was just noteworthy and wanted to memorialize in this way?
Well, I think the teammates, the character of the teammates, the character of Chaminade High School, the road through Mary to Jesus. We're all and remain faith-filled guys. We went on a Sunday morning. We all went to Mass together the weekend of our reunion. And it really was a very special time. Our coaches were very faith-filled men. They were Catholic family men. They were communicants. They modeled the Catholic family man for us very well. And we took notice. And that was what made it special. Also, as a very practical matter, if you know sports and you know people in sports and wonderful players, many of them never have experienced a perfect season. Some of the greatest players have never had a perfect season in a sport. Army and Navy have played football, for instance, since 1891. And Navy has never had a perfect season. Amazing.
Yeah.
And Army has had 3 in the 100 and some odd years that they played ball. So it is a rather unique kind of thing. And it has its moments of great tension and where it almost slipped away. A lot of things have to go right. I always laugh because in one of our tightest moments, and my friend Al, George Valva, wrote about this. He was on the sideline saying the Memorare. So, I'm not sure Our Lady took notice of that, but we did actually win that game, and we had to avoid ties, or otherwise it wouldn't be perfect.
Right.
Chaminade had an untied, a no loss, but one tie season, and so it took a lot of different things. We had one particular game, which we scored in the last 2 plays of the game to win. So,
I mean, we were talking before that I was a high school chaplain, and part of what I did was just stand on the sidelines of football, and it is very dramatic, and and there is a lot of prayer that goes on. But like you were just mentioning, it's anything that gives us an opportunity to have an influence over young people, to find the thing that they like doing, and then be that example for them, like your coaches were. So, I think this is a great story and something that we need to continue to think about, because, we live in a world today where sports and religion seem to be so separate, but this is a witness to how how much they were the sports were a helpful formation.
Very, very much so. Before each game and after each game, in 1961, we gathered as a team in our pads before the statue of Our Lady in Our Lady's courtyard at Chaminade, and we prayed for our health and for victory if possible. And coming home on the bus after an away game, we did the same, and at home we did the same. And our last victory over Holy Cross High School, which gave us our perfect season, I remember very well praying nostalgically, feeling that this was the last time we would really gather as a team and pray before Our Lady. And that was the case. It was the last time we gathered. And it was, I think nostalgia in the Greek is a wound to the heart. And we felt that very keenly, yes.
I want to ask you too, because this all happened in a unique historic time in the United States. That we were significantly post World War II, and maybe not yet to the tumultuous part of the '60s.
Absolutely.
But so this is a great little encapsulation of what that time period was like. Is that part of the reason why you had to together too?
It's we felt this is really the end of the age of innocence. Shortly thereafter, we had assassinations and riots and upheaval and turmoil that we have today, social divisions, cultural divisions. So in a way, James Joyce wrote about a Jewish Irishman who went around Dublin for one day and still achieved a universal effect. And we hoped to some degree that our very specific season, 8 short weeks in our lives, could rise to and resonate with people at various level, and I think it has.
That's great. There are a lot of stories that happen. I think of Doris Kearns Goodwin wrote a book about the Dodgers winning the World Series, but it just really captured that period of history as well too. So
absolutely,
it's really interesting. And so, where can people purchase the book?
People can purchase the book at Amazon, at Barnes and Noble. If they want to save 10 or 12 bucks, they can email me at thomas.kiley@icloud.com, and I can give them the author's price. And it's available all over. Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much for being with us today. Really appreciate it, and it's a great story.
Very, very much appreciate the invitation and enjoyed speaking with you, Father, and have a lot of respect for the work you've done for many years.
Thank you so much. Well, let's go back to Colleen.